Butter is right here. Our emotional support cat. This is my college roommate, Savvy.
Yay!
All the way from Colorado.
Yep.
So we'll be living together. Maybe you'll see her in future videos.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'll force
That'd
her.
be so much fun. So I'll do it.
Today, I thought that we would talk about some ghost stories and eat some cookie dough.
Definitely.
Two of my favorite things.
Say.
Savvy apparently has so many ghost stories.
I do. My old high school was super haunted because it was an insane asylum and it was also a tuberculosis place. And my old house used to be like a farmhouse in the 1900s, so I have a lot.
I'm so excited. This cat is pawing at me. I want to say it's like viral, but I know that the algorithm caters to you, so maybe it's just viral to me.
Maybe.
But I keep seeing these cookie dough ads. Heat treated flour, so it's like safe to eat. Ooh, I hadn't opened it at all. I wanted to wait for you.
I'm so excited.
So it's called Doughp, so it's pronounced Doughp.
Dope.
Dear spoon liquor.
And they give you a little sticker.
Everything. It's upside down. Peanut.
Peanut.
It's like, for me, eat it raw or heat it. And then it like gives us tips on how to bake it. So I thought we would taste test it raw and then bake it if you want.
Bet.
So I got the best seller pack.
So
$35 plus shipping. Came with ice, apparently.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Cookie Monster, cookies and cream. You want some more? Fairy dust rainbow sprinkle.
That one sounds exciting.
And then just regular ride or die chocolate chip. Why am I getting
Ghost
4
stories.
spoons?
The ghosts want to eat some, guys.
In my last video, there was a moment where Peanut broke into the garage. So there's like a cover that goes on that pet door. He like took it off and let himself out. It's a fun thought. You're naughty. You're naughty and you need Jesus. So I finally caught it on video yesterday.
You did?
Wow.
Oh! That's so good. What the heck? That's like incredible.
Do you want water?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna like buy a bunch of this when I get home.
Yeah, this video is not sponsored by Doughp. It is
No, it's-
sponsored by my mom. You want to have one more bite?
Definitely. That's so good.
Y'all knew this was a cookie dough review. It's never gonna be bad.
I love it.
Cookie Monster A+, 10 out of 10. One time, I was dating this guy named Noble, and the first YouTube video I made him be in was like a spicy noodles challenge. At least you get like
This is
cookie
better
dough.
than cheers. Cheers.
Wait, I forgot to say, it's the ride or die chocolate chip cookie dough.
That one's good.
Yeah, this kind of tastes like grocery store cookie dough, but it's still good.
It's still really good.
Who doesn't like grocery store cookie dough?
Honestly.
That sounded like a roast.
You want some more?
You want some more?
This one's harder.
Is it?
A little bit.
It's got like marshmallows in it, so it might be.
I can taste the s'mores for sure.
Yeah. I don't know what it tastes like.
It's like chocolate.
It doesn't
but
taste exactly like cookie dough. It sort of tastes like,
It tastes like ice cream, kind
Yeah.
of, in a weird way.
yeah, ice cream or like brownie. I kind of want another bite so I
Yeah.
can tell exactly. So I can get my Gordon Ramsay on and be like, there's hints of the
Hints.
marshmallow. It's different. Peanut's like so mad
Oh my
right
gosh,
now.
it has sprinkles. Sprinkles, guys.
Oh, that's what we said for everyone. We're like, yes.
I know, we're so into this.
Yes.
Oh, that one's so good.
Those sprinkles, everything.
No, this one is my favorite.
My mom will be home and she has a ghost story.
Really? I'm so excited to hear hers. I love ghost stories. I could seriously talk
Yes.
about ghosts like all day. So basically, I lived in a triple and I lived with 2 other girls. When they were both in the room, like nothing would really happen, but sometimes I'd be like alone in the dorm room, like just studying or doing my makeup, you know what you do. I would hear the door like lock. And I would think one of them is coming in. None of them would come
And
in.
it wasn't like a room next to yours.
No, like, because I would like look and it would be like only when my back was faced to the door, so I'd be like studying and I would hear the click and that's when it started and I would look and I'd be like, huh, that's weird. And so then that just happened a lot and I was like, okay. And then my roommate mentioned something to me out of the blue. Her name was Alex, that like when she would be alone in the room, weird things would happen to her too. Like we didn't talk to each other about this before. And then she said one time there was a belt like sitting on the desk and when she was in there, the belt just like flew off. We both started noticing it like even more. Little things like that would happen, like stuff would be out of place. And then when we would go to sleep at night, sometimes we'd hear like tapping on the desks like this.
No!
So that was that. But then the main thing that happened is one time we were all in the room, we were getting ready to leave, and I couldn't find my keys at all. But I specifically remember like putting them down on the desk. I could not find them. Like they were just gone. And I looked through my backpack, my purse, my bed, my closet, all of my drawers. I seriously opened every single drawer like 10 or 15 times looking for them. My roommates were joking like, oh, you know, like maybe the ghost took it. Then I was like, let me just see. So I asked, I was like really polite and I was like, hey, like ghost, if you took my keys, could you please give them back? Like we need to go to dinner. And I opened the top drawer and they were sitting right there. After I opened the drawers like 10 or 15 times and they were not there. My other roommate, Sasha, was so scared of it that she rarely slept in the room.
I've heard a story like that though, where like people can't find things. And like I heard the story about a woman who like ran her hand over the desk and then she's like, where are my keys? She turns around and they're on the desk.
That's what happened, yeah.
It's so hard because stories like that, people are like, oh, you just like couldn't find them. But you're I know
no,
that
I
looked.
I looked in the drawers so many times. Crazy.
Damn, at our school too.
Yeah, I was in my dorm, so I wonder if that's gonna happen to us.
Anyway, I've got the cookies.
We're gonna bake this.
I love the blue one. So this is the Cookie Monster, this is the s'mores, this is the chocolate chip, and this is the sprinkles. Okay, she a cooking channel or whatever. Should probably read the directions.
Yeah.
350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. Like I've had these weird experiences with electronics. My grandfather, my mom's dad, was electrocuted. He was fixing like an air conditioner and then he was electrocuted in Vietnam. Sorry. Now we're all freaked out and the oven turns on. So I had these weird experience with the Redlands sprinklers where they would go off wherever I went.
Oh god.
And so I thought that maybe they were just timed, but then one day I was out walking while it was raining and they turned on and I was like,
what? Yeah, like it's raining.
Like why would that happen? Still don't know what it was. It might have been something paranormal, but since my grandfather died from an electric shock, I kind of, maybe I should insert my mom's story here because it's about that.
Yeah.
It's about like electronics acting weird.
Maybe you should.
So it may be like my grandfather's communicating with us through electronics.
Right.
Is a sprinkler electronic? Is that plumbing? I don't know the difference.
You got a lot of tabs there.
So my granddad sent this in. So he said, my grandmother says you're assembling paranormal experiences, so here's mine. It occurred in my hometown when I was 14, walking home from the public library just as it was beginning to get dark on a cold, rainy winter evening. Okay,
already.
Okay, setting the scene. It was mid-March, some 3 months after my grandfather's death in November, an event that affected me deeply. Moving ahead of me on North Street and then turning onto Walnut Street was a blue-green Studebaker. You're studying German, you should know. It's a type of car. Okay. A car Grandpa Snell had driven the last 3 or 4 years of his life. Then, to my amazement, I realized that he was behind the wheel, driving the car very slowly, as he always had. He was well over 40 when he had shifted from horse and buggy to an automobile, and he believed that driving 15 miles an hour was making very good time. I stopped in my tracks and watched closely, seeing him from 2 angles as he turned the corner. As he drove away from me, I was totally convinced of the impossible, that my grandpa had just passed me on his way home to the family farm.
God.
That's my grandfather. He's not gonna pull something like that.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy? I forgot my headband. This is gonna be so inconsistent.
I loved that. It's cute though.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell it was a ribbon. Do you want one from my high school or from my house?
Ooh, possibilities.
I have so many.
Do your high school, because like I was so intrigued when you told me it was an insane asylum. I love ghost stories. I forgot to say this earlier in the video, but that's like my conversation starter. Lay one on me.
In the administration building, which is like upstairs, and it's also kind of like a storage room, and that was like where the tuberculosis patients were kept.
Ooh.
And when I went in there, I seriously felt like someone had their hand around my throat. I got these cold chills and I felt like my throat closed up, which makes sense because it was like tuberculosis. The teacher said that they have some stories of like going up there with coffee and their coffee would get like thrown out of their hands, and there's like actual coffee stains on the carpets. Like if you look, there's the library, which is super haunted, and it's supposed to be haunted by this woman called the Red Woman, and she like was crazy and they confined her there. And one time, I don't know if I still had the picture, that would be dope, but I don't think I do, because one time me and my friend Alex were just walking in the library and we were taking selfies, and in the background of one of the selfies we saw this like woman's face just blurred out. It might have been on my old phone. We think it was like the Red Woman. It was just like in the background and it was almost like blurred out, so you couldn't necessarily like tell at first. Like if someone didn't point it out and be like, what is that, you would just think it's like, yeah, I don't have it. So if we take a selfie like this, like it would be in this corner and it would just be like the corner of her face.
No, I totally believe you because there's this YouTuber named Morgan Adams. Have you heard of her? So she and her friend were out like walking along the street and she like posed next to this sign or something.
Yeah.
There's like black hair on her shoulder.
Oh
I'll put it up in the
God.
video. Sorry, I'm like looking. I know
No,
it's
no,
like
you're good.
embarrassing when you look at
You
someone's
can look
memories.
at my memories if you want.
There's like 5 photos of a steering wheel in a row.
Yeah, because that's when I started driving, so I was like, you know, I'm so cool.
Me whipping.
I was such a nerd.
Someone is like tugging on my pants here.
The other thing that happened, we were all in the library really late at night after one of the dances, and we were like joking around. We were like, let's just see what will happen if we ask the ghost to like turn the printer on. And we were just sitting there, and then the printer went off, and we were all sitting there. Like none of us could do that because we were all sitting over here. But yeah, it was extremely haunted. It's called Denver Academy. They have like a sub website or whatever it's called called Ghost Stories, because that's how haunted it is. If you got to campus, like if you were the first person that arrived on campus and it was super quiet, if you sat on the stairs of Richardson Hall, which is like the main high school, you could sometimes hear old-timey music.
Let them cool down for a second. Oh wait, I should show them. I'm trying not to burn you though. So I have a story.
Okay.
This is my only I know there was a ghost story.
Yeah.
Like I thought that they existed. I hadn't had any proof.
Right.
So it was Friday the 13th.
Oh God.
And I think I was 17. So this would be 2018 question mark? 2017, something like that. My friends and I, it was me, my friend Sarah, and my friend Sabrina. They all came to sleep over at my dad's house and we decided that we were gonna do Ouija. We didn't think it was gonna work, so we were brainstorming how to fake it for like the content or whatever. I had like 1,000 subscribers, but I was like, for my Wattpad audience, you know what I mean? We bought this Stranger Things Ouija board.
That's looking so cool though.
From Target. It looked like a joke, right?
I love Stranger Things.
Yes, me too.
Just a side note.
So we set up, put 3 candles, and then Sarah and I sat there and we put our hands on the planchette and then we started talking about how we were going to, we're like, we'll spell out Zozo or whatever it was called, right? The planchette starts moving beneath our hands.
Oh shit.
And I was like, Sarah, wait. I was like, Sarah, wait. And she's like, I'm not doing that. And this is all caught on camera. On my YouTube, the audio was like so low that I had to put it into a special program in order to boost it. It wasn't even like paranormal, it was just I had a shitty camera, right? Yeah. The planchette starts moving and it starts like telling us, I can't remember exactly the details, it's in the video. It's like, my name is this, my favorite color is this. I'm like freaking out a little bit. So I was like cracking jokes, like trying to lighten the mood.
No offense,
I
Jim,
feel like
but
there's
I just don't
something
wanna close
here.
my eyes.
Like I can feel a presence. Am I the Long Island medium?
No.
Like taking my hand off of the planchette, which you should not do, right?
Yeah, no.
Like Sarah's like, Jane, stop it. Like she's like taking this really seriously at this point. And Sabrina's filming. So at some point, I'm like laughing and I blow out one of the candles. And the planchette immediately starts going towards goodbye. And then we were like, no, come back. And then he like went to no and then went back to goodbye. It was really, really creepy, right? I'm gonna put it here. I caught the planchette like moving. Literally, the tip is being pulled. Sabrina, get this. The tip is being pulled. Like we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You see the tip being pulled? Holy fuck.
Whoa, that was strong.
Sarah and I, we were barely resting our 2 fingers on the side of the planchette, and then the planchette is like moving at the tip.
Yeah.
So like something's pulling it from the other side.
Yeah.
I believe that Ouija is so real, not just because of what we experienced, but because of what happened every Friday the 13th after that. Every Friday the 13th after that, and this had never happened up until then, I was fully cursed. Like,
really?
The Friday the 13th, immediately after Ouija board, my Wattpad was deleted. I had 108,000 followers on my Wattpad account. It's like this writing website. I feel like there are some other ones, but I can't remember right now. I was about to say last year. 2 years ago, freshman year, I had just moved into my single dorm. There's like this closet and there are cabinets above the closet and I am 5'1". I was struggling to put the whatever it was up there. And so I'm like balancing on my bed trying to shove whatever it is up there. I fall. This is right after midnight on Friday the 13th. I fell into my closet and fractured my leg. Talked about this in my dorm tour video that I did at Redlands. The whole day after that was Like,
Oh my
the
God.
shuttle wasn't working. I left my shoes in the Uber to the
No.
urgent
Oh my
care.
God.
I forgot my keys, so my friend had to drive and give me my keys.
Yeah.
I ordered pho, dropped it all over the rug. Don't do Ouija.
No,
It's
don't do
real.
it.
And like, if you could have been in that room, you felt something pulling
For
on that
sure.
planchette. It was
Yeah,
like
no, that's like not
nothing I've
good.
ever experienced. Anyway, I have a very tiny spoon. There's like a good chunk.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's so good.
Yes. I think I like it even better cooked. Oh, this is the chocolate chip one. It's like we're going to California in 2 months and I'm trying to get my Cali bought on and here
We're
I
just
am.
like eating cookie dough and cookies.
It's so good though.
I know.
Would you say it's dope?
So dumb.
You want to do Cookie Monster?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You can taste the food coloring, but it works.
I
If that
get
makes
that,
sense.
yeah.
I think that may be my favorite, but we haven't tried the others. I'm feeling the sugar, y'all. Okay, that's a good idea. Savvy just expertly
I'm
cut
like-
the cookie, and I'd be like,
She's like.
I do have a very small spoon.
I love that.
Ooh, it's got like a good aftertaste.
Sprinkles.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite.
So we'll save this for when my mom gets home. If y'all wanted to see the damage. Do you have any more ghost stories?
I can tell one more, yeah, if you want.
Yes, do it.
It's not necessarily a story, it's just like something that kept happening. So at my old house, my sister's room, she went to college, like it became a guest room. But every single time someone would spend the night, they would hear a baby crying in the middle of the night. And my mom was like, yeah, it used to happen when you were little. And she would go check my room to see if I was up crying, and I would be sound asleep. And then my dad said it happened to him a lot. And then just random guests that would stay over would be like, I heard a baby crying last night. And we'd be like, yeah, that happens in that room. To this day, like, we don't know what it was. It was just like the sound of a baby crying. And it wasn't even like a dream. It was clear as day when you heard it. It was like creepy.
Oh yeah, babies crying where there are no babies.
And it would only happen in that room.
Like you heard it too, right?
Yeah. My dogs would like freak out in there. Like, cause
Dogs know.
Yeah, he would like pace around the room at night and like go into the closet and like bark, but it would only be in that room and like just do weird shit.
I wanted to tell Jenna Marbles' ghost
Ghost
story.
story? Okay.
So she's my favorite YouTuber. A lot of people have noticed that I act like her a lot because I grew up watching her. Which, okay, we're the first generation that grew up with YouTube. She's gonna assimilate into my personality, okay? Anyway, she told this ghost story. I think it was on the H3 podcast. And like also, I trust Jenna Marbles with my life. I would lay down my life for her, so I know this is true.
Yeah.
She was at sleepaway camp, and so she was sleeping in a dorm with a friend. She was in one bed and her friend was in the other. So her bed's here, a window is here, her friend's bed, and then the wall.
Okay.
One night she like cannot sleep, right? Like she's just like looking around the room or whatever. She looks at the wall and through the window is like shining a cross on the wall. And there were like no lights outside. It was like a bright cross. And as soon as she looked at that cross, she felt something push down on her bed, like someone was sitting on the edge of her
What the
bed.
heck?
And then the next morning after, she was like acting kind of weird and her friend was like, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I like had this weird dream that I saw a cross on the wall. And her friend goes, I saw it too.
No way.
She saw the
That is
cross.
so, like, I just got chills. That's like crazy.
I think she mentioned on the podcast that she kept feeling that somebody was sitting on her bed. So after a while, she had to be like, this is my bed. It's not your bed anymore. And then it went away. I guess the ghost was like, why are you in my bed?
Oh my God.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her
She's
so
the best.
much. She's the best. Anyway, so I guess we'll take a brief break and then return with my mother.
Is it what you thought it would be, Miss Jane?
Yes, it's really, really good.
It is.
Not as good as our cookies. We need to make you our famous cookies because my mom and I have perfected the recipe.
Really?
But I just wanted to try this because it wouldn't stop being on my TikTok page.
It's really good. low-key.
Me and my tiny spoon approved. We took a break for like 2 hours, and now the cookie dough is so soft. So the cookies are cold now, but we wanted you to taste test and share us the ghost story.
I have a couple.
You're a couple.
Yay!
That's not a great face, but
Tastes blue.
It tastes blue.
Okay, I think the cookie is better.
not as good as ours, right? What?
I don't really like it.
Good.
Ooh, it's good.
Yeah.
That's very tasty.
This is s'mores.
Ooh.
Barbara is excited about the s'mores.
No, I like it.
You were like the kombucha girl.
You know what? No.
Well, last but not least.
Last but not least.
Oh my God, is it contagious? You guys.
Unfortunately, you've got a second Jane right here.
Oh, okay. Well,
We're so
you know,
similar.
We are really
She
similar.
named her car Subaru Bruce.
Subaru Bruce.
Oh,
After
I
Subaru.
love
And my
that.
car's name is Steve Carell.
My dad was electrocuted in Vietnam when I was 5, but I never really thought about like the idea of
Ghosts?
ghosts.
Spooked Magoo.
But when I brought my first baby home from the hospital, I was up. It was like 2 in the morning. I was doing that feeding, and I was sitting out in the living room of the house we were in at that time, and there was a light next to me, a halogen light. The bulb had burned out, and we hadn't replaced it, and it was still just sitting there. It hadn't been turned on or anything in, I mean, probably 6 months.
Because
It
the
just,
bulb
like,
was burned
The
out.
bulb was burned out, and it had, sometimes when things stop working, they just become part of the furniture and you stop noticing them. I think I was nursing my baby. All of a sudden that light came on. It was like within the first month that we brought her home. It was either that night or the next night I heard this sound, and so I followed it, and it was this defunct drum pad. It hadn't had batteries or hadn't been used in literally years. It had been stuffed up in the back of a closet somewhere, and suddenly it was like
it turned on.
it was drumming. Your dad
Oh my
can
God.
corroborate that because he heard it too.
and it was like electronic.
But I just kind of had this awareness at both those times. Like I wasn't afraid. I
Maybe
thought it was my
your
dad.
I forgot. So I told her earlier about the sprinkler story around Redlands where the sprinklers would turn on wherever I went. Then I just remembered I used to have this toy. It was like shaped like a sheet, and you pulled a string and it would play a melody. So when the string like retracted, no more melody, right? Like
Yeah.
you had to pull it in order for it to go. Sometimes that would play.
my
like even
gosh.
with the string fully
That's
retracted.
crazy.
What happened, I think, with that is the string got pulled out too much and wouldn't retract anymore, so
Okay,
it
it's
stopped
haunted.
playing.
It's haunted.
No, it was
Oh.
like it was
Oh,
pulled
I
out
see what
and
you're
broken,
saying.
and
I
then
see
it
what
would
you're saying.
It would somehow play.
Yeah,
sometimes play, right?
I remember that. Yeah, I pulled it out too far and then it wouldn't work anymore.
And then it still played.
And then it still played. It was like this German lullaby. I was like, do, 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 do. And so every once in a while I would hear, do. Like just one
Yeah.
note coming from it.
Yeah,
My mom's a good therapist.
I'm like a therapist. I'm actually a therapist.
I said,
I'm also
I
like
said,
one.
I said my mom's a good therapist, and you said I'm like.
Oh, I thought you
one.
said-
I just thought it was you automatically put it there because I say like so much.
So your cousin Michelle.
I've never heard this one.
There was something about when they built the house that Michelle, your cousin, was born in. All the hangers in the closet, they hadn't moved in yet, but all the hangers in the closet started.
Ew.
She thought it was her
grandma?
There's other stuff there. Like they're connected.
You
There's
believe in
something
ghosts?
there. I believe in energy. The energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
That's fair.
So I more believe like in sort of reincarnation. I just don't think that our 5 senses actually capture all of the experience of life.
That's
so
so interesting.
true.
That's a good way to explain it.
Like I feel like we were probably destined originally to communicate in a different way, like more through thoughts and connectivity, because I know as therapists that we can regulate each other's systems simply by being together. We have relational brains. The way I like to think of it, we're like land dolphins, you know, but there's a lot of meta communication that goes on. And so I totally believe that we're not always aware of how we communicate, and it would make sense that there would be people in other dimensions. Or
We can only see
it's
through our
open-
5 senses.
Yeah,
that
literally.
freaks me out.
That, like, blew my
Because like
mind.
some people, it makes sense. Some people have like a better 6th sense
Yeah.
to like ghosts.
Oh, I have another sort of weird connection
Yay.
story.
Yay.
I used to go see this massage therapist who was also a very intuitive person.
Yeah.
And one time I was on her table, all of a sudden the thought came into my mind, I need to go pick my son up from school. It wasn't my thought. I think I picked up her thought.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
When your mother's a little psychic.
Oh, damn.
I'm not psychic.
You picked up her thought, you plucked it out of her
But
head.
I think she's psychic.
That explains how I never got away with anything.
You never got away with anything because I have that nose.
Because I'm not smart. Well, thank you very much for your ghost stories.
Oh,
The
great.
cookies are bomb.
That's very fun.
They're so good.
Love you.
I love you too. Oh.
Subscribe to become a part of our Conqueror family. Because I'm Jane Conquest.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave me a comment. I love comment. Like anyone interacting with me, that's the best.
Shout out to Complex.
Oh yeah, so working on my book Complex once again should be out this fall. Can you do this? Sorry, my ADHD is all over the place today. And then I'm reading Hank Green's book. I read the first book, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and now I'm reading the sequel, A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. It's a great story, but he has so many grammatical errors.
I know, that's
like
what you're saying.
it's like a bestseller, and he has all these comma splices and like missing
Letters?
prepositions
Oh my
or whatever.
God.
Really distracting to me as a writer
Yeah,
and an
for
editor.
sure.
So I'm sure other people like don't mind it as much, but at the same time, I'm like, Hank, hiya, a new
yeah.
editor. You know what I'm saying? His brother is John Green. It's a good story, a great idea, and that's what matters the most. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Mom comes over.
And we're just like, hey, hi, I'm Savvy. Nice to meet you. Look at me. So
She'd be
funny.
like, you're exactly like my daughter. Okay, so I'll hold these two, you hold these two, and then we'll go like.
One time I handed my teacher burnt math homework. Like, I burnt the corners on purpose to show him how much I hated math, and I actually handed it in. I was
Okay,
such
rebel.
I was such a salty little girl. Well, that's my ex-boyfriend. That's awkward. Fuck you, Tim, if you're
Bitches be about to kill themselves trying to put on the lip gloss just to make sure they look good for the camera, bitch.
No, we just got rid of Brad because Mr. Nelson needed a project. Yeah. And not a believer in